PFA are on to Chelsea. Now, it may look like it is just an easy questioning, but I'm telling you, it is. There's a lot of public relation in watering down the message. Like, oh, it's just PFA talking to Chelsea, asking them what about Sterling and Disasi. What are they doing about them? Are they offering this and this and this and this? But that's not how this thing usually happen. The way they address this thing is that passive aggressive corporate tone, which is like, kindly do this and this and this and this, but it has nothing kind about it. It's like, in real sense, it's like, if you don't do this thing, we are going to do this thing. Are we getting each other? Like PFA are telling Chelsea, if you don't do this thing about Sterling and Disasi, we are going to do thing on you. We'll probably fine you. We'll probably do this and this, or take you to court. Now, PFA is not FA. It has no rules or policies or anything that could hurt Chelsea. Like they are not in management of any policy. But they are, like a professional governing body. Like it's a thing for players. Like it controls how players, the welfare of players. So it means that they can go to court, or they can call FA and ask them, like, why are these people treating Sterling and Disasi the way they're treating them? That's not very, very important, because for me, as an employee, you probably would want to have a governing body that takes care of you, which is okay for Sterling and Disasi. The thing I'm not okay with is that we are not the first team to do this. 7 years ago or 8 years ago, I don't know when was it, but Arsenal had the same thing with Aubameyang and Lacazette, just banning them off the main team. And while, was it Lacazette? It was, I think, Ozil. And while there were a lot of tabloids talking about it, saying it was political or anything, we never saw the FA, we never saw the PFA, we never saw any governing body coming to their rescue, like coming and telling, Arsenal, like, why are you doing this thing to these people? None of those said it. None of those guys who are pressuring now Chelsea did that to Arsenal. And last year, and even at the start of this year, Man United did the same thing to Garnacho, did the same thing to Rashford, did the same thing to Sancho. Again, the PFA was not there to tell them, especially with Garnacho. He stayed a long period of time before being even. I think when Amorim came in, when I think Rashford went to Aston Villa, Garnacho did not play for a long time. Like Amorim said, he's not part of his team. And the PFA were not there to come in and say, why are you Man United letting Garnacho not play, or not letting Garnacho have this and this and this? Why does it always have to be Chelsea for the PFA, for the FA, for the PGMOL, for the PSR to react? It always looks like there is always an agenda, and it's not so good. It doesn't look so good. Now, the talking points are that for a player, if he's signed to you, uh, you have to provide adequate training facilities for them. You have to let them use the gym. You have to provide a fully sized pitch for him to keep on training. If he's signed to you, you have to grant them access to other facilities, food, meal, training, and supporting staff like dietitians, coaches, the people, the clinicians, the people who manage, those people who look at injuries or everything. That as much as he's not part of the team, he is able or has to be able to access any facility, any staff, any technical member of the club. Like, he has not to feel like he is discriminated from any other guy from the team. Now, he might not play unless it is written in the contract that he has to play. If it is not written in that, he might not play. The way you do your training, it might be different. You might seclude him, you might give him different training facilities, but it must not look like he is being secluded. And that's ground for Asu, because if he notices that the other team are getting something that is not getting, it might be a little thing. It might be a small thing like food or certain facilities, and that will cause the team to be sued. Now, I don't know if it's Sterling who called the PFA, or the PFA just realized that, because it's Chelsea, we can go there and do something. I don't know, and I don't know how this will go on. I just feel like PFA is a little bit aggressive on this situation. Their kindly is not kinding on this situation, and they're looking at a point or a mistake to just make Chelsea pay for it. Now, right now we are in September. We have still have October, November, December. We have still have 3 months to the end of January. And I understand Sterling. Sterling has always said that unless he's getting a London team because he doesn't want to leave his family, he will always be in London. So either he gets signed, or he get a transfer to Arsenal, which is unlikely, Fulham, which is unlikely, Brentford probably, Spurs, which is unlikely. Which other team? Crystal Palace, maybe. But are those teams able to pay for his salary? I don't think so. So unless Chelsea just decides, we might just pay the majority of his salary until the end of until he gets, he gets signed after 2 years. For the next 2 years, like, get a long-term loan, a long-term 2 years loan. But then Disasi still has 4 years. Now with that, you just have to find a team to sign him, because you can't just keep loaning him every other year for 4 years. That would be madness. And I don't know why he doesn't want to move. I don't know if he was linked to other teams, but I'm not sure if he was willing to go to any teams. And I don't know why he wants to stay in London, because it's not even from there, and there's nothing holding him there. So for all these situations, I don't know how they are going to end. I just feel that somehow both Sterling and Disasi. And for Sterling, I think he's at the end of his career. For Disasi, I don't know what's his decision making. I'm very unsure about the decision making of these people. Like, it's just a little lowering of wages to go to another club so much harder. You have to not believe in yourself to just stick to that salary, to just say that these wages are the reason I'm not going. Because if you lower the wages and you go to another club and you perform as you have performed in the past, then there's a high likelihood that a team that will value you will come and approach you, and then you'll have to raise your wage. It just happens like that. If you keep on saying that I don't want to move, and then it's like 2 years, 3 years, now you'll never get into any team. I've seen people just crash like that, and then it's, a spiral, a downward spiral from there. So I'm not sure. This is a situation that we have to wait until January to see if again would these guys would they have gotten a resolve to move, away from the club, or they will just still be holding on. One thing I'm sure of is Maresca is not going to put them in. as much as there have been news saying that, Maresca is looking as, especially for Sterling, I think we have a lot of wingers like Estevao, Garnacho, Neto, George. Like there are a lot of wingers in that team, which I think Sterling is not going to bring in anything differently, and anything differently in that an improvement in quality. So for this case is done. Like those two people have to know by now that with Chelsea, unless Maresca is sacked, the story is finished.